This is the second part of my video review for Transformers Masterpiece MP-10 Convoy /Optimus Prime. This is the review of its trailer and the accessories inside. But before I get to that, I want to point one last thing out about Prime that I forgot to mention, which is that he is a Human Alliance figure. See, if you open up the chest windows, you can see Spike Witwicky is sitting inside. And the little cavity where the human figure sits, that cavity is the other side of the arm that flips around when transforming to and from robot mode. And I just wanted to show that off real quick, because Spike Witwicky does have some functionality with this. Nothing great, he's just a human character / pilot, but he's there. Doesn't stand very well. Anyway, this is the trailer. It looks pretty nice. I like the Autobot logo. It's pretty big, and inside you've got Roller. And Roller, he's pretty big. Not bad. All plastic wheels, unlike the hard plasticized PVC tires. But he's not bad. He has a little seat inside for Spike Witwicky. Although I find he doesn't sit in it that well. He tends to just sort of get eaten up by it. And then what this thing can do with the trailer is, if you put away the trailer supports, and these are pretty neat. As you fold them out, the supports come down. Fold those away, flip up this piece back here, fold this up, and then rotate this up. Then you can put him onto the hitch for the trailer, and Roller can pull it along. And of course, Spike could be sitting in Roller right here, so I like that. And in fact, it's even a explanation for where Prime's trailer goes. Roller just pulls it out of the way. And then Roller does one more thing, but that's about it for now. The trailer, like most Prime trailers, opens up. Pull these out, open the doors, and then if you look down here, there are little latches here for a ramp. Now, unfortunately, Roller does not spring out or lock in, he just sits in there, but you do get the ramp. And then you split the trailer in half. Although, it is kind of hard to do. You have to give some amount of force. And then, well, the gun came undone. But, if you look in here, you have storage for the energy axe and Prime's weapon. As well as that little battle station looking thing. So, now that we have this open and access to Prime's gun, this can plug in to the back of Roller. Oh, there we go. It wasn't sitting in quite straight. That's because this was up and this little plate here pushes up against it. And the way you put it in is you don't put it into here like you would think. You put the trigger for it, you slide into the slot here, and then it just sits there, and it comes out pretty easily, and then you close this over it, and that holds it in. And that's pretty neat. The Energon axe comes out, and just off to the side, it's just a way to store it. And then, inside, I am totally putting my tripod onto the trailer right now. Inside, you have these little command stations with movable seats, and Spike can sit in these. And if you see, there's also this thing that comes up. And that thing also has a canopy that Spike can sit in. Move the radar dish and the claw out of the way. And pull it open. And pop him in. And this is usually where I keep Spike, because it is the most solid place for him to go. Because every other place he rattles around. Here he has this in place to keep him in. I would keep him in Prime, except I prefer to be able to play with Prime and not have to worry about Spike. So he has control of this. It's got a radar that's posable. It's got an arm that can flip around. A claw on the arm. It can do basically anything you want it to. But it's all around like this, and it rotates at the top. So, a pretty neat little accessory bit for the trailer. It's probably the most interesting thing about it, because really this trailer, it just looks like a good trailer and opens up. So, there's one last thing that this thing can do. And if you look on the sides here, you fold in these panels, one on each side, ba-boom, and ba-boom. Fold those in, and then start putting the trailer back together. You create a hole that you can thread the command base thingamajigbob in. And that is pretty cool. Still has, you can still turn around and look up and down. And then the arm has its full range of movement still. And, I don't know, it's a pretty neat way to give, to turn this into kind of a piloted vehicle. And I think it works pretty well. And for just the trailer itself, that's about it. There is one more mode, but it requires Prime, so I'm going to go get that set up. This is the final part of the review. This is the final thing that the trailer can do, and this is the repair bay mode. And as you can see, it's very simple. It's just taking the base mode and standing it up, and then putting Prime in it. It's actually a pretty nice diorama on the shelf. It gives a little bit of support to Prime, so if he's going to fall over, he's only going to fall over forward. Not that he would fall over. The legs are quite good on this, but I don't know, it's a nice way to show off both things in kind of the same space. Now, there's not much this can do, aside from move the arm around to repair Prime, and Lord knows he needs it with how often he dies, but it is nice that they put the effort to make sure that Prime fits in it quite well, because if you notice, these bars here that act as supporting struts for the trailer to make sure it stays solid, these are cut exactly to his shoulder width, so he fits in there very well. And then this black hinge that this thing is on, that folds back far enough so that it doesn't interfere with Prime's head, and yet it still goes over his tiny little bit of backpack, that part where his gun goes. So I quite like this. It works very well. It is just kind of a big box he stands in, but it's a nice homage to what the original G1 figure could do. And then, of course, you can also store his weapons in it as well. So if you have spike in the arm thing, then you have the weapon stored in it. It's a great way to keep everything but Rolar all together, and really Rolar can just stay at Prime's feet. I'm putting him down there. And the gun up here. So yeah, this is the set with everything all in one place. So it's a good way for Prime to be Prime, to have a trailer that does a couple things, and to not have the trailer take up space as well as Prime, because the trailer is quite big. And that's about it. There's not much else that the set can do. And I do wish the trailer did a bit more. Like, one thing I think would have been cool is if the trailer actually condensed into a little box, so that when Prime's in robot mode, it doesn't take up a whole trailer space width, or even a diorama space width. It just takes up the space of a tiny box. And I think that could have been done fairly easily, but it might not have been too sturdy. And you probably wouldn't have been able to store the weapons in there, but who knows, maybe that's something we'll see later. I certainly think that'd be something neat to see. And yeah, these are my thoughts. Thank you for watching. One last thing. I've seen on the forums some people have been wondering if the MP-10 trailer would work well with Revenge of the Fallen Leader Prime. And while this doesn't latch in, I'm sure if, say, you're rich enough to get a second MP-10 figure, and you wanted to use this as a trailer with Revenge of the Fallen Leader Prime, I'm sure you could find a way to modify the latching system so it could. And I do think these are scaled together pretty well, so if nothing else, for display, I think this works. Thank you for watching.